My beloved child, today I come to you, not with thunderous clamor, not by means of great world-shaking events, but in the urgency of a sacred whisper to draw you back onto the path of life. You have cried out to me, you have begged me for blessing. You have often asked why doors remain shut, why your joy steadily ebbs, why the relationships you treasure grow tense and lack peace. And today I come to you to show you the cause, not to condemn you, but to open for you a new way, a broad road within the perfect plan I have ordained. You possess an object, a thing that seems harmless on the surface, yet in the spiritual realm it is an invisible cord binding you. It is not merely something you keep as a memento, an ornament, or a familiar tool of daily life. To the eyes of the world, it is of little consequence. But to my eyes, I who search the heart and who know all things from the beginning to the end, I see it as a gate swung open to darkness, as a mark of old covenants, as a snare cleverly disguised by the enemy. You may think you control it, that it rests there doing no harm, but the truth is, it controls your soul, it dims the clarity the Holy Spirit grants, and it blocks the flow of the blessings I have ordained for you from before time began. I do not speak these things to shame you, but to awaken your soul from weary sleep. You have grown accustomed to carrying that burden so long that you mistake it for a natural part of the journey. Like a small stone in the shoe, at first it causes only slight discomfort, but over the years it makes your feet bleed and every step becomes torment. You have accepted limping along as if it were your fate. But I never call you to walk in such pain. My word declares, the path of the righteous is like the dawning light that shines brighter and brighter until the full day. Proverbs 4:18. How can that light blaze forth while you cling to what clouds your mind? Child, this item, though small to human sight, is the wall standing between you and the harvest I have prepared. It is like an anchor holding you in shallow water, while I desire to take you into the deep where greater things await. It is like an old rotten door you stubbornly keep fastened while ahead. I have set wide a great door opening onto prosperity, love, and fulfillment. I have whispered to you about this many times. You have felt a restless stirring in your heart, a silent urging you could not explain. You thought it a fleeting feeling, but it was I rousing you, calling you to let go. You ask why I am so strict, why others seem able to keep similar things without harm while you cannot. Beloved, because you are set apart, you are chosen to bear a greater calling, a mission not everyone carries. Others may tolerate these things, but you cannot. Others may touch them and be unaffected, but you are different, for the calling on your life is too great to be compromised by such small entanglements. I have placed a seal upon you, a promise, an eternal purpose, and therefore I will not allow you to remain bound. Yes, I name it an idol, because whatever you protect above obedience to me becomes a form of false worship. You may think you do not bow before it. You may not offer incense to it, yet in the depths of your heart, you have given it a place higher than my voice. Remember that I am a jealous God, not with the petty jealousy of humans, but with a holy jealousy, because I know you are truly complete only when you wholly belong to me. I have watched you wrestle with yourself. I have heard your justifications that keeping it does no harm, that you wish only to preserve a memory that you will know how to control it. But beloved, that very reasoning proves it has taken a foothold in your heart. When I tested Abraham by asking him to offer Isaac on the altar, it was not because I desired to take from him the son he loved, but because I wanted to ensure Abraham's heart belonged entirely to me. When he was willing to obey, I provided a ram in his stead, and blessing flowed through countless generations. Likewise, I do not come to steal your joy, but to free you, so that blessing may come to you in fullness. My child, I know you fear loss. You think that letting go means falling into emptiness, but I tell you, for whoever wants to save their life will lose it, and whoever loses their life for my sake will find it. Matthew 1:6-5. When you release something for my sake, you do not tumble into a void, but step into the arms of the one who can fill every lack. I never take away anything without replacing it with something better, yet to receive the new you must be willing to leave the old behind. I have waited patiently for you. I have stood by you through the long nights you wept in secret and the days when you wandered uncertain of where to go. I have never abandoned you, even when you ignored my voice. And today, once again, I come to you not with vague hints, but with clear instruction. Cast it away. Do not hesitate. Do not justify. Do not keep it one more day. Every minute of delay gives the enemy another turn of the rope that binds you. Every day of procrastination costs you the chance to step into breakthrough. Do not despise obedience. Obedience in the small things is the foundation of great miracles. Moses only had to lift his staff and the sea parted. The widow needed only to pour the last of her oil into the jar, and abundance overflowed. Peter simply cast the net at my word, and a great catch came that changed his life. So it is with you. A single act of letting go today can open up a season for you beyond what your mind can imagine. Consider carefully, child. That object is not a harmless keepsake or an innocent pastime. It is the snake lying in your bed, the hole in the jar that keeps me from pouring in new oil. As long as it remains, the outpouring cannot come. As long as it remains, your prayers are restrained. But when you remove it, when you choose obedience, heaven will stand with you, and I will honor that act with supernatural increase. I am knocking on the door of your heart right now. Will you open? Do you trust me enough to let go? Will you dare to set down the familiar in order to grasp the eternal? Your future, bright, free, whole, is waiting for you on the other side of this moment. Act today. Let your obedience be the seed, and I will make it bloom 100-fold. My beloved small things, the seemingly innocuous decisions, the choices people call trivial, these are the seeds that shape destiny. You often wait for some grand event, a conspicuous miracle, a dramatic moment to change your life. But I tell you that true transformation does not begin with a thunderous noise, but with whispers in the depths of your heart. It is the small, repeated daily things that quietly make the person you will become. The enemy does not usually attack with grand display. He is wise enough to know that if he brings an obvious temptation, you will likely refuse it. So he hides poison in honeyed drops, slips into distraction, and disguises himself in what seems ordinary. A brief conversation that sows bitterness, harmless entertainment that numbs your mind, a small choice that slowly pulls your heart away from me. This is his way, not hurried, not loud, but patient and persistent until your whole soul is bound. You think you can control it, that a little will not matter, that you will fix it tomorrow. But I say that delay is not harmless. Delay is a thief. It steals each moment of obedience, each opportunity to step into blessing. Delay whispers that there is still time, yet the truth is that every day lived in compromise is a day lost from the eternal plan. Child, you cannot sow the seeds of the world and expect to reap heaven's harvest. You cannot drink from a dirty well and expect living water to flow from your soul. Therefore, I urgently call you, allow me to sanctify the smallest things in your life. When you pass over what you deem harmless, remember every seed has its harvest. The farmer plants and forgets, yet the seed silently germinates beneath the soil. Likewise, the thoughts you nurture, the images you allow into your mind, the words you let your ear hear, all shape your soul. And when the storm comes, those seeds will show their fruit. If you sow bitterness, you will harvest anxiety. If you sow compromise, you will harvest ruin. But if you sow my word, you will harvest peace, joy, and strength. You ask why your peace is so fragile, why your faith wavers, why you feel weary, though nothing obvious presses upon you. I say it is because you have let the voice of the world speak louder than my spoken word. You have spent more time feeding on lies than on truth. How can you stand when your spiritual nourishment comes mostly from things not of me, child? My word is not merely ink on a page. It is bread for the soul, water for a thirsty spirit, light for a dim path. No one can truly live without that truth. Remember how I led Israel through the wilderness and fed them manna each day, not once for the week, but fresh every morning. This was not merely to supply food, but to teach them to live dependent on me day by day. So you need my word not only in hardship or when you come to the meeting place, but every day, every hour. It is in that faithful repetition that your foundation is built. It is through that steady patience that your soul is made strong. Do not underestimate what transpires in the secret place. I say, guard your heart above all else, for it is the wellspring of life. Proverbs 4:2-3. Everything that flows into your life, words, actions, decisions, springs from the heart. If your heart is fed by envy, bitterness, or doubt, your whole life will reflect that. But if your heart is full of my truth, praise, and obedience, light will radiate from every part of you. Be alert, child. This is not a warning meant to make you live in fear, but to lead you into wisdom. You cannot avoid the noise of the world, but you can choose what your soul will absorb. You cannot stop the enemy's whispers, but you can decide which voice you will heed. I want my voice to be the clearest echo in your heart, not to crowd out others for the sake of control, but because I know that only when you hear me will you truly live in freedom. Compromise often begins small, a look, a word, a decision. It does not arrive as a storm, but as drops of water that slowly wear away the rock. Likewise, obedience begins small, a brief prayer, a choice of truth over a lie, a moment of forgiveness instead of resentment. Those choices are the bricks that build a strong wall to protect your soul from temptation. You have asked me for great miracles, but I tell you that true miracles are found in the small steps of obedience. I do not seek your flawless perfection. I seek a devoted heart. I want to walk with you in every tiny detail, not only in the great events. I want to whisper to you when you wake, to teach you amid your daily busyness, to strengthen you even when no one is watching. Open your heart to me now. Let me enter the hidden corners you have neglected. Let my light shine upon the habits you have thought harmless. I do not come to condemn you, but to heal. I do not come to expose you, but to free you. If you allow me to mend the cracks and repair the holes, the vineyard of your life will flourish once more. The change you seek does not begin outwardly, but inwardly. You long for me to open a new door, but I say the external door will open when the door of your heart is cleansed. You want me to remove enemies, but first I want you to remove the footholds you have unwittingly given them. You desire promotion, but first learn faithfulness in the small things, for when you are faithful with little, I will appoint you over much. Now I am knocking. Do you hear my voice? Do not look for thunderous signs. Incline your ear to the whisper. Do not wait for a great event. Let each small daily decision become an altar where I meet you. When you obey in the secret things, you will see me move in the grand. When you choose me in the hidden place, I will publicly exalt you before many. And when you sow in obedience, you will reap in glory. My beloved, every moment of immediate obedience is like a seed sown into fertile soil. That seed does not vanish into silence, but is preparing to sprout and produce fruit the eye cannot yet see. Yet whenever you delay, you are like a farmer who stores the seed away in the barn, thinking you will sow when it is more convenient. The harvest does not wait on human convenience. My timing is set for growth, and if you miss it, that seed may never bloom. Procrastination is like standing at a crossroads and hesitating to move. When the sun goes down, you remain where you were, while those who decided, however slowly, to take a step have already gone far. Do not allow yourself to be trapped at the fork of hesitation. You have prayed for change. You have longed for a new beginning. And I have placed the key in your hand. It is obedience. If you cling tightly to that thing, it will hold you back. But if you dare to let go, you will be freed to move forward. Remember my people Israel in the wilderness. I gave them manna each day and commanded them not to hoard for the next day. Some did not listen. They kept what was given, and it bred worms and stank. So it is with you. Delayed obedience will also decay. What I ask you to do today will lose its meaning and power if you wait until tomorrow. I do not call you to delay. I call you to act now because I know a timing more perfect than yours. Child, the enemy is very clever at exploiting delay. It does not need to provoke you into open rebellion. It whispers that you can wait a little longer. The truth is, every moment of delay tightens the bonds around you. The enemy is not afraid when you promise to change tomorrow, for tomorrow rarely comes. It trembles only when you decide to act today. That is why I press this upon you: act now. Your obedience today does not open freedom for you alone. It touches those yet to come. Think on this: a single decision in a moment can shape an entire lineage. Abraham obeyed me, and nations were blessed because of him. Joshua chose that he and his household would serve the Lord, and that choice became a heritage for his family. Likewise, when you choose obedience, you lay a firm foundation for those who will follow you, your children, your friends, and souls you have never met, but who will be affected by your faithfulness. I know you feel too weak to do this, but I say to you, I do not call you by your own strength. I give you the Holy Spirit, the Comforter, the Helper, the power. When you tremble, call on Him. When fear rises, lean on Him. When you do not know what to do, listen to Him. He will guide each step, remind you of truth, and uphold you when you would otherwise fall. You are never required to walk alone. I do not promise that letting go will be painless. I do not promise there will be no tears or regrets. But I promise that the pain will give way to joy, that regret will be replaced by peace. I promise that when you obey, I will turn loss into blessing, and what you leave behind will become a witness to my faithfulness. You will look back and recognize that what you thought you could not live without was actually a burden hindering you. Do not stare at the loss. Look at the abundance I promise. Do not fix your gaze on empty hands. Behold my outstretched hand. Do not remain focused on fear. Look to the one who has conquered death. I have prepared for you a radiant future and a destiny of glory, but I will not force you. I knock, you must open. I invite, you must answer. I extend my hand, you must take it. The time for excuses is over. The time for waiting is over. Say, yes, Lord, and step out. Your future is calling your name. My glory awaits you, and it all begins right here in this moment. My beloved child, when I call you to let go of what binds you, I am not merely asking you to relinquish an object, a habit, or a memory. I am calling you into separation, a holy setting apart, so you might hear me more clearly and live in the full freedom I have ordained for you. Understand that this separation is not meaningless loneliness nor abandonment. It is part of the journey I prepare for those I love and whom I am readying for greatness. Beloved, the separation I bring to you is like the potter taking a newly formed vessel off the wheel to let it dry and hold its shape. If it kept spinning, it would never harden enough to endure the fire. So too there are seasons when I draw you away from the familiar, so you may be formed into my image. In this separation I mend the cracks within your soul, remove what is not of me, and prepare you to pass through refining fire. Do not fear separation, for it is proof that I am at work in you. You have often thought that to enter blessing, you must cling to as much as possible, more relationships, more possessions, more comforts. But I say to you, it is in letting go that you truly enter into more. You are like a bird bound by many cords. It may beat its wings strongly, but it cannot soar until those bonds are removed. Those cords may seem harmless to others, yet for you whom I have chosen, they are burdens. I have called you to a broader sky, and to fly you must be released from the old restraints. Separation is like my bringing Israel out of Egypt. Egypt was not only a place on a map, but a symbol of slavery, of chains of dependence on human power. I did not call them out simply to give them more land, but to make them mine to worship me freely without oppression. Likewise, I do not call you to let go merely to make you lose. I call you to freedom, to belong to me. Separation is the prerequisite for deeper union. I know you fear loneliness when you leave the familiar. You think letting go will leave a void, but I say that void is the space where I will step in. You are not abandoned. You are being prepared to welcome my presence in a fresh way. You will know me more intimately, for when the familiar noises subside, you will hear my voice more clearly. When burdens are removed, your soul will be lighter and able to soar. Consider this: a farmer cannot reap without removing the husk from the grain. The seed must be freed from its hard casing for life to burst forth. Likewise, you cannot enter abundant life while clinging to old shells, the habits, the objects, the memories that are no longer mine. I call you to allow me to separate you, not to make you weak, but so the life within you can erupt, rise, and bear fruit. Look back at how I led my people in Scripture. I called Abraham from his homeland to become the father of many nations. I took Joseph from his family through prison to become an instrument of salvation for a nation. I called David from the sheepfold to be a king after my heart. Every act of separation opened a new door. So it is for you. Today's separation is preparation for tomorrow's glory. Do not misinterpret separation as punishment. It is part of love. A loving father does not let his child run toward a cliff. He draws the child back even when the child protests. So I draw you away from what threatens your soul. You may not understand this now, and you may feel discomfort, yet one day you will look back and see that I rescued you from destruction. Believe that this separation leads to deeper union with me. When you dare to let go, you will sense a new flow within your soul, peace that surpasses understanding, joy that does not depend on circumstance, a freedom no one can take away. You will know you no longer live for yourself, but for the one who loved you and gave himself for you. In that union, you will find the true meaning of your life. This is the call step into separation. Let me remove what is not of me. Let me cut the invisible cords that bind you. Let me purify you so you may walk free in the light. Do not be afraid, for separation in me is never loss. It is always the opening of a new season, the season of life, advancement, and holy unity. Are you willing, my child? Are you willing to be led out of the crowd to hear my whisper in the quiet place? Are you willing to be placed on the potter's table and reshaped into a more perfect form? Are you willing to let me turn this separation into a bridge to a glorious future? Obey today, for I am preparing for you what eyes have not seen, ears have not heard, and no human heart has conceived. Beloved of mine, when I call you into separation, I do not leave you in an indefinite void. Separation is only a transitional stage, a bridge to a new season. Know that whenever I remove something from you, it is never the final period, but the opening to a greater beginning. I do not send you away to live empty, but to prepare you to step into the assignment and heritage I ordained for you before you were formed. Remember Joseph's story. He was separated from his family, sold into slavery, imprisoned years that seemed only loss and injustice. Yet that separation paved his way to Pharaoh's throne. Had he remained at his father's house, he would have been merely a beloved son sheltered from trial. Because of separation, he became the means of deliverance for many. So too, what you are letting go of today may wound you and make you feel strange, but I tell you, this is only the beginning of the story. The end will be advancement, a mission, and blessings not only for you, but for many others. I have placed within you a calling that exceeds yourself. It is not merely for your comfort, wealth, or private joy. I have called you to be light in the darkness, a voice for this age, a mirror so many may see and trust my faithfulness. To fulfill this, I must prune, separate, and refine you. You may think I limit you, but in truth I am preparing you for heights you have not yet imagined. Lift your eyes beyond the immediate losses. A vine must be pruned to produce more fruit. A grain of wheat must fall and die to yield a harvest. Today's separation is pruning and sowing. You may perceive it as an ending, but in my eyes it is the beginning of an abundant season. You are not taken away to disappear. You are set apart to bear fruit. Separation is never the final goal. It always points to assignment. I did not lead Israel out of Egypt to wander forever in the wilderness, but to bring them into the promised land of milk and honey. I did not call the disciples merely to leave their nets, but to become fishers of men. Likewise, I do not ask you to let go so you remain in emptiness, but so you step into a mission prepared long ago. You may feel the call is too great and that you are insufficient, but I tell you, your weakness is the very stage where my power is revealed. Your limitations are the foundation for my grace to be unleashed. You need not carry every answer. Bring only a heart of obedience. I will do the rest. As you walk in obedience, I will make a way. When you dare to step, I will supply. When you dare to believe, I will act. This separation is also a summons to look beyond yourself. Do not fixate on your suffering. Think of those who will be saved when you obey. Do not focus solely on loss. Think of the generations that will be built through your faithfulness. There are people waiting for you to rise. There are souls who will be freed because of the decision you make today. Prayers will be answered because you chose to obey. Know that legacy is not built on comfort but on faithfulness. The world may applaud visible success, but heaven records the quiet decisions made in secret. When you choose obedience and separation, you lay the foundation for an eternal heritage. I promise you, the work you build on me will not be destroyed. It will stand through every trial and become refuge for many generations. Remember that separation is not only for you, but for those who come after. As you enter deeper union with me, you become a stream for others to drink from. As you step into assignment, you will draw many souls along. When you build your foundation on me, your children's children will walk upon it. This is a blessing that continues. It is a legacy no one can steal. Do not regard separation as loss. Regard it as an invitation to step into a larger life. Regard it as the starting point of a new season and the opportunity to live out your calling. I, the Lord, promise I will never abandon you nor depart from you. I will be with you every step from the moment you let go through the season of harvest until you fulfill the assignment. Now it is your decision. Will you allow me to turn this separation into assignment? Will you allow me to change loss into legacy? Will you let me lead you into paths eyes have not seen, ears have not heard, and hearts have not imagined? If you say, "Yes, Lord," I will turn pain into strength, loneliness into unity, and separation into advancement. My beloved child, when I have drawn you out from what does not belong to me, the next step in the journey is purification. I do not only desire that you be freed from outward chains, I also long to sanctify the hidden corners within. For what good is it if you escape visible shackles while your heart remains bound by bitterness, fear, or misplaced desires? True freedom is not merely the loosening of chains around your hands, but the liberation of your soul and mind, so that you may walk in the light I have ordained. My child, there are small things you still tolerate, and they are quietly leaking away the strength of your spirit. like a fruitful vineyard into which a few cunning foxes slip and gnaw away at the roots until the whole harvest is ruined. So, a minor habit that seems insignificant, a passing thought that appears harmless, a bitterness held in secret, these small things are steadily consuming the life of your soul. They are like tiny cracks in a dam. At first they seem negligible, but over time they will break the whole structure. I want you to let me enter those hidden places. Allow my light to shine into what you have concealed, into the pains you have not dared face, into the memories you have suppressed. I do not come to shame you, but to heal you. I do not come to condemn, but to set you free. If you continue to hide, the wound will fester. But if you bring it into the light, I will lay my hand upon it and heal. As it is written, "But if we walk in the light, as he is in the light, we have fellowship with one another, and the blood of Jesus, his Son, cleanses us from all sin." 1 John 1:7. My beloved, there are bitternesses you have held for so long that they have become part of your thought patterns. There are fears you have clung to so tightly that they determine how you act. There are secret longings you have not dared surrender to me, and they quietly pull you away from holiness. But child, I see everything, every line of thought, every tear, every silent ache. I do not turn away. I draw near with unchanging love to say, you need not carry these alone any longer. Give them to me, and I will turn chaos into peace. I know you fear exposure. You worry that if you open your heart, you will be judged. But hear this promise. Whoever conceals their sins does not prosper, but the one who confesses and renounces them finds mercy. Proverbs 2:8-13. I do not want you to live in darkness another day. I call you out into the light, for only there will you find true healing. You have grown accustomed to hiding, and it has left you exhausted. It is time for me to bear the burden for you. Consider the clay jar it is made to hold oil, yet, if there is a crack, the oil will leak away. So you were made to contain my presence and power, but the cracks, bitterness, fear, misaligned habits keep you from being full. You may sense the flow, but it will not hold. You may taste joy, but it quickly dissipates. You may receive a promise, yet it seems not to come to pass. This is because your vessel has not been mended. Child, let me heal it. Let me patch the cracks so that new oil may fill you and not be lost. Purification is never pleasant, but it is always necessary. As fire refines gold, I allow you to pass through trial, not to destroy, but to remove dross. Gold only becomes pure after the furnace. So it is with you, you will truly reflect my glory only when that which is not mine is burned away. You may feel as though you are in the fire, but do not be afraid, for I am with you in the flame. As I was with Daniel's 3 friends in the blazing furnace, so I will be with you. And when you come forth, not a hair will be singed, though the cords that bound you will have been consumed. Remember that purification is a journey, not a moment. Each day you must come to me so that I may wash you, renew you, and lead you. Just as your body needs water daily, so your soul needs the daily cleansing of my word. How can a young person stay on the path of purity? By living according to your word. Psalm 1199. You cannot live powerfully by receiving my word only occasionally. You must let it become a continual stream that cleanses your soul. When you allow me to purify you, you will see change, not only within but also without. Clarity will return, joy will overflow, peace will reign, broken relationships will be healed, locked doors will open. You will discover that when the root is healed, the fruit naturally appears, not by your strength but by the life that flows through you from me. Let me do this work today. Do not delay. Do not cling to bitterness as a shield. Do not keep fear as a familiar companion. Do not excuse misaligned habits, because everyone does it. You are not called to be like the world. You are called to be like me. You are called to walk in holiness, in freedom, in light. Are you willing, my child? Will you open your heart for me to touch those hidden corners? Will you let me heal those old wounds? Will you allow me to mend the cracks so that the vessel of your life may be filled and overflow? If you say yes, I promise that a new season will begin, a season of purity, of clarity, of advancement. And in that season, you will not only be set free, but will become an instrument of freedom for many others. I call you today, step into purification. Allow me to work within your heart. Let my light shine into every hidden place, and you will see the inward cleansing will become the foundation for every outward blessing, my child. After I have cleansed your soul of the old things, I will not leave you empty. I desire to fill that space with renewal, that your thoughts, your heart, and even your identity may be formed by my truth. Purification paves the way, but renewal is what secures you. For if I only remove the filth, and you do not allow me to fill that void with truth, you will easily slip back into the old loop. But when your mind is renewed, you will walk in true freedom, not merely a fleeting escape, but a lasting liberation. You have often tried to change by your own strength. You have striven to restrain yourself, disciplined yourself, attempted to alter behavior, yet you find yourself returning to the same ruts. You ask, why am I like this? Why can't I keep the change? I tell you, because you have only treated the surface, not let me touch the root, and the root is your mind. Every action springs from thought. Every decision is conceived by deep-seated beliefs. If your mind is not renewed, your behavior sooner or later will revert to what it was before. Hear this, child. That is why I spoke through the Apostle Paul. Do not conform to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, so that you may discern what is the good, pleasing, and perfect will of God. Romans 1:2. When your mind is renewed, you will no longer live by shifting emotions, be swayed by public opinion, or be unsettled by lies. Instead, you will have discernment to recognize my will. And when you know my will, you will walk in peace with confidence and in advancement that nothing can hinder. The renewal of the mind does not happen overnight. It is like water constantly washing a stone, gradually making it smooth. Each day, you must let my word cleanse your thoughts. Each day, you must allow my truth to fill the empty places in your mind. As you do, false beliefs will be replaced by truth. Deceits will be replaced by my voice. Old patterns will be supplanted by heavenly thinking. Consider this, beloved, when a farmer sows seed, he does not see the result immediately. Yet day by day the seed is quietly growing. Likewise, every time you read my word, every time you pray, every time you yield to the Spirit's reminder, the seed of renewal is being sown within you. And one day you will notice that you think differently, react differently, live differently. Not because you tried harder, but because truth has transformed you from within. Do not underestimate the power of my word. You may think that a few verses cannot change anything, but I say, is not my word like fire and like a hammer that breaks the rock? Jeremiah 2:3-9. A small spark can light an entire dark room. A single blow can shatter a hardened stone. Likewise, a single word from me is enough to break the chains that have bound you for years. You do not need to accumulate knowledge like a scholar. Come with a hungry heart, and I will do the rest. I want to teach you to live not by emotion, but by truth. Emotions may change by the hour, by the minute. Today you feel strong, tomorrow you feel weak. Today you are fervent in prayer, tomorrow you feel dry. But my truth never changes. Emotions are like waves, truth is like a rock. If you build your life on waves, you will be swept away. If you build on the rock, you will stand through every storm. Do not let feelings determine your faith. Let truth shape your feelings. You ask how the mind is renewed. Begin with small things. Choose my words over lies. When the enemy whispers that you are worthless, remind yourself of what I have said. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. Psalm 139:1-4. When circumstances declare you will fail, remind yourself I can do all things through the one who strengthens me. Philippians 4:1-3. When fear floods, you say, "For I did not give you a spirit of timidity, but of power, love, and a sound mind." 2 Timothy 1:7. Child, it is the repetition of truth that will gradually displace the lies engraved in your heart. When your mind is renewed, you will see the world differently. You will no longer regard circumstances as final, but as opportunities for me to reveal my power. You will no longer see trials as burdens, but as places where I refine your faith. You will no longer view yourself as a victim, but as a victor in Christ. Your thinking will change, and that change will alter the whole trajectory of your life. I know this is not easy. You will stumble, forget, and sometimes feel you have returned to the old ways, but do not be discouraged. Each time you fall, stand up and continue to let my word renew you. I do not expect you to be perfect at once. I expect you to be faithful. I do not expect you to run quickly. I expect you to keep steady steps. And I promise that if you persevere, I will complete the work I have begun in you. The renewal of your mind is not only for you, but for those around you. When you are renewed, you will become a shining example. When you live by truth, you will become living evidence that freedom is real. Others will look at you and see that transformation is not merely theoretical, but a reality. You will be a witness to my faithfulness, and that will sow hope into many thirsty souls. Therefore, let me renew your mind each day. Do not wait until you feel ready. Begin today with a prayer, a verse, a small decision. Step by step, day by day, you will see transformation. You will find yourself no longer governed by emotions, no longer bound by lies, no longer drawn by old habits. You will walk in true freedom, in clarity, in peace. And that is the life I have ordained for you, the life of one who has been renewed, my beloved child. You cannot walk in strength if you remain confused about who you are, to whom you belong, and what you are called to do. Too many times you have allowed circumstances, other people's words or memories from the past to define you. But I speak to you today, no event, no person, no failure has the right to define you. Only I, who fashioned you, redeemed you, and placed my name upon you, have the authority to call you by name and determine your worth. Know this, for the enemy attacks identity with the fiercest force. When I led my only son Jesus into the wilderness, the tempter did not begin by demanding a public sin. It began with a question, "If you are the Son of God," Matthew 4:3. Beloved, the same is happening to you. Every doubt, every lie, every fear aims at a single goal: to make you forget who you are in me. For if you forget your identity, you will live beneath the place I have destined for you. You will accept bondage instead of freedom, lack instead of abundance. I say to you today, you are a child of the King of Heaven. You are not abandoned. You are not a victim. You are not a failure. You are chosen, redeemed, and loved without condition. You are a new creation in Christ. The old has passed away, and all things have become new. You have the right to inherit with my Son. You were made not to trudge in darkness, but to shine brightly in the world. You are no longer a slave to sin, to fear, or to doubt. You are free. Let this truth be engraved on your heart, beloved. For if you do not know who you are, you will easily believe whatever others say about you. If you do not stand firm in your identity, you will be swayed by emotions or public opinion. But when you are certain of who you are in me, you will no longer tremble before criticism. You will not be shaken by failure. You will not doubt when delays come. You will stand because you know I am the one who called you, and I never change. The world has placed labels on you: weak, not good enough, failure, forgotten. But I come to remove every one of those labels and put a new name upon you. As I called Jacob, once a heel grasper, to become Israel the conqueror. As I called Saul the persecutor to become Paul the apostle. As I called Simon the wavering one to become Peter the rock. So now I call you by a new name. This name is not tied to your past, but bound to the future I have ordained. When you walk in this true identity, you will see transformation not only within but also in your actions. Your words will change because you will no longer need to prove your worth. Your deeds will change because you know you are called to something greater. Your love will change because you know you are loved unconditionally. This new identity will touch every part of your life. I do not promise that living in this new identity will mean the absence of trials. But I promise that this identity will hold you fast through every test. Winds may blow, storms may rage, yet your house built on the rock will not collapse. Others may doubt, the enemy may attack, but you will not be moved, for your identity is not founded on human opinion, but on my unchanging word. Remember that your identity in me is not only for you, but also for those I will place within your sphere of influence. When you stand in truth, you become a lighthouse for drifting souls. When you live as a child of the King, you testify to the world that there is a reigning King, a loving one, a Father who seeks his children. You are not freed merely for your own sake, but to become an instrument of freedom for others. I want you to live not as someone striving to obtain an identity, but as one who already has it. You need not chase recognition. You have been acknowledged by me. You need not compare to find worth. You already have value in my eyes. You need not strive to become someone. You already are whom I called you to be. When you live from identity rather than toward it, you will walk in freedom, in peace, and in advancement. Arise in this new identity. Speak. As Paul did, I have been crucified with Christ. It is no longer I who live, but Christ who lives in me. Galatians 2:20. View yourself through my lens, not the world's. Walk with the confidence that you are loved, redeemed, and sent. And when you live this way, no power, no enemy, no circumstance can stop you. Are you willing, my child? Are you willing to lay down those old labels and put on the new name I give? Are you willing to stop living as a victim and begin living as a victor? Are you willing to trust me enough to step into the true identity, even when feelings and circumstances do not yet reflect it? If you say, "Yes, Lord," I promise you will experience a freedom you have never known, a peace the world cannot give, and prosperity far beyond expectation. This is your time. Walk in your true identity. Live as one who is loved. Act as one who is sent. Shine as the lamp I have placed in this dark world. I will go with you step by step, day by day, until the work I began in you is completed in glory. My beloved child, when I have placed your identity in truth, the journey does not end there. Identity, if held only as a doctrine, remains weak. It must be forged in reality, through trials, through seasons that are not comfortable. This is why I allow you to enter dry seasons, times of silence, challenges that seem beyond your strength. Not because I have abandoned you, but because I am training you so that your faith becomes mature, steadfast, and able to stand in every storm. Faith is never proven in easy days. When everything goes smoothly, when prayers are answered quickly, when feelings run high, trusting me is not difficult. But true faith is revealed when you cannot see, cannot feel, and cannot hear, yet still choose to walk. That is the faith that made Abraham the father of many nations. He believed even when he and Sarah were old. He believed when reality said otherwise, and I counted his faith as righteousness, not because he was perfect, but because he dared to believe. I want you to enter that kind of faith. Faith unshaken by circumstances, not dependent on emotion, not weakened by delay. Such faith is not built overnight. It is formed through trials and droughts. Just as muscles grow under pressure, so faith grows in hardship. If you are never tested, your faith will be feeble and easily broken. But when tested, faith becomes strong, deep, and steadfast. I know you fear dry seasons. You feel prayers are useless. Scripture is dry, and my presence distant. But I tell you, silence is not absence. I am still there, nearer than your next breath. I am watching how you respond. Will you continue to pray, though you do not feel it? Will you continue to read the Word, though your mind wanders? Will you continue to worship, though emotions are absent? In those faithful acts, your faith is forged. You are learning to walk not by sight, but by faith. Understand that each trial is not random, but a classroom. I am teaching you to discern the true from the false. I am teaching patience, teaching you to wait for my timing, teaching you to place hope not in outcomes, but in me. You may feel lost, but I know the way. You may feel weak, yet in that moment, my power is revealed. You may feel forsaken, but in truth I am teaching you to depend on me rather than on feelings. Recall my words through James. Consider it pure joy, my brothers, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. Let perseverance finish its work so that you may be mature and complete, lacking nothing. James 1:2-4. Beloved, that is what I am doing in you. I desire not only a faith that burns bright in moments, but a persevering faith that endures for a lifetime. Such faith will be the foundation for every other blessing. If you desire advancement, you must have steadfast faith. If you desire leadership, you must have mature faith. If you desire to withstand temptation, you must have unshakable faith. This is why I allow testing not to destroy you, but to build you. As the smith brings iron into the fire and hammers it not to ruin it, but to make it into a sharp sword, so I am at work with your faith. There will be days you cry, nights you toss and turn, moments when you feel you cannot continue. But I promise I will never give you a burden beyond what you can bear. I promise that in every trial there is an escape. I promise that I work all things good and bad together for your benefit. When you look back, you will see that those seemingly fruitless times were when I was building your faith strongest. Consider the heroes of faith. Noah built the ark for years before a drop of rain fell. Moses spent 40 years in the wilderness before rising to lead. David fled for years before he became king. None of them escaped trials, yet each was prepared to carry his calling. So it is with you. Today's delay is not rejection, but preparation. Do not be discouraged. Regard trials as evidence that I am at work. Regard silence as an invitation to hear the whisper. Regard drought as the season in which I teach you to dig new wells. Trust that your faith is growing even when you do not see it. One day you will stand before a wide open door and realize that those trials prepared you to step through. Therefore be steadfast. Let trials produce perseverance. Let perseverance finish its work. And when you stand, you will enter a harvest that cannot be taken from you. I promise your faith will not be in vain. Your tears will not be wasted. The years of waiting will not pass meaninglessly. All are shaping you to be like me and to be ready for glory. I want you to understand an important truth. The trials you face do not come to destroy you, but to teach you to distinguish the counterfeit from the genuine. In this world, many voices echo. Many things seem attractive, but are merely surface. If not tested, you will be deceived by appearances, lured by sweet but empty words, led down a path that seems safe but ends in ruin. Therefore I permit you to pass through the fire so you will know true gold from worthless metal. Through dry seasons you learn that faith cannot rest on emotions. Emotions are like passing winds, sometimes pleasant, sometimes fierce, often shifting direction. If you live by feelings, you will be unstable. When joy comes, you are near me. When sorrow comes, you drift away. But when you learn to walk by faith, you will stand even when feelings do not support you. You will know that I do not change though your moods do. You will know my word is sure though circumstances contradict it. I allow silence, so you will realize that relationship with me is not built on fleeting excitement, but on deep attachment. I want you to learn patience, to wait without complaint, to trust even without immediate proof. Like the farmer who sows and waits for the rains, like the potter who waits for the clay to dry, you must learn to wait in faith. That waiting is not useless. It is essential to forming a mature spiritual life. Look back at your past trials. Then you thought you could not endure, yet you did. What followed? You grew stronger, wiser, more mature. You learned lessons you would never have known without the trial. You began to cherish peace after the storm. You learned to value light after darkness. You grew able to recognize my voice after being lost among 1,000 noises. Beloved, those experiences are the foundation of your faith. Remember Israel in the wilderness. I brought them out of Egypt with mighty signs, yet I did not immediately give them the promised land. They had to traverse the desert, face thirst, hunger, and enemies to learn that the only supply is me. I gave manna each day so they would learn to depend on me every hour. I brought forth water from the rock so they would know life comes only from me. You are in a similar process. The desert is not to kill you, but to teach you to trust me above all else. Beloved, patience is not passive endurance, but an active strength. Patience is like roots that go deep into the earth. The surface may be dry, yet the roots find hidden streams. When storms rise, those roots keep the tree from being uprooted. Your faith is the same. Patience is not doing nothing. It is continuing to pray, continuing to trust, continuing to be faithful, even when results are not yet visible. Patience testifies that you know I am faithful and will fulfill my promises. I know there are times you want to give up, to take shortcuts, to choose immediate comfort rather than wait for long-lasting good. But I warn you, shortcuts often end in dead ends. Temporary comfort often hides the trap of bondage. You are called to walk the narrow way, the harder path, but the one that leads to life. If you remain steadfast, the reward will far outweigh present suffering. I tell you, tested faith produces perseverance, and that perseverance will bring you to completeness. A pearl is not formed in a day. It needs time, pressure, and perseverance. An ancient tree does not grow tall without enduring many storms. Likewise, you will not become whom I have called you to be in a single moment. You must pass through trials, learn patience, and allow me to shape you. I promise that if you are faithful, you will be made complete, lacking nothing. Let trials be your teacher. Do not grumble, do not complain, do not assume I have abandoned you. Ask, Lord, what do you want me to learn in this circumstance? Fix your eyes beyond the pain to see the deep work I am doing in your soul. When you do, trials cease to be enemies and become instruments. They are no longer burdens but stepping stones, no longer bonds but opportunities to grow. My beloved child, do you see it, my child? I am shaping you into someone immovable. When others collapse under pressure, you will stand firm. When the world is thrown into confusion, you will remain at peace. When everything around you shifts, you will hold fast because your faith is not anchored in circumstances, but in me, the unchanging one. This is the power of perseverance. Therefore, my dear one, be steadfast in this season. Do not run away. Do not seek shortcuts. Do not lose heart. Allow the trials to finish their work. Let perseverance bear fruit. And when you stand firm, you will enter a harvest that no one can steal. I promise you that every tear will be wiped away, every sacrifice will be recompensed, and every faithful step will be rewarded. You will see that no hardship is wasted, for all of it is shaping you into a conqueror. My beloved child, now I want you to see the larger picture. Every trial you have walked through, every season of waiting, every drought has not been meaningless. They have been and are forming you to become steadfast, resolute, and mature in faith. If you only believe when you see immediate results, that faith is like straw that flares up and quickly dies. But the faith I am building in you is like glowing embers, enduring, smoldering, and when called upon will blaze into an unquenchable fire. I do not call you merely to endure. I call you to triumph, to stand firm, to become a pillar. The world is unstable. People change opinions with every trend and every event. But I want you to be unshakable like a tree planted by streams of water, with roots plunged deep and fruit in every season. When storms arise, you will not fall. When drought persists, you will remain green, because your life source is not from circumstance but from me. Spiritual maturity cannot be measured by age or years of religious practice. It is measured by steadfastness under trial. A person may know many things, yet when winds and storms come, they collapse because their foundation is not secure. But you, through these seasons of testing, your foundation is being set deep into the rock. You are learning to build not on emotion, not on the praise of men, but on my unchanging truth, and that foundation will hold you firm throughout the journey. Know that steadfastness in faith is not only so you may stand for yourself, but so you may become a refuge for others. When people see you unmoved amid the storm, they will find hope. When they see you still trusting, still praising, still praying in the dry seasons, they will recognize a power beyond humanity that upholds you. That will draw them to me. Your steadfastness is a living testimony, far more powerful than any sermon. Remember Daniel. He was famed not only for wisdom, but for his steadfastness. Thrown into the lion's den, he still prayed as he always had. Threatened, he would not compromise. That very steadfastness caused a whole kingdom to acknowledge me as the true God. So it will be with you. Your steadfast faith will have influence greater than you imagine. It will open doors for you to be a voice for a generation, a model for those who waver. I know you have thought that strong faith means never doubting or never feeling weak. But I tell you, strong faith is not never falling. It is knowing how to rise after you fall. Mature faith is not never being afraid, but choosing to trust even amid fear. Steadfast faith is not always feeling close to me, but continuing to walk when you feel nothing. You do not need to be perfect. You only need to be faithful. And that faithfulness is the proof of true maturity. This steadfastness will open doors for you that you could not previously enter. For I entrust great responsibility only to those proven faithful in small things. I will enlarge influence only for those who have stood firm in narrow trials. I can give you leadership over many when you have learned to be steadfast in loneliness. This is the principle of heaven. The one who is faithful in little will be placed over much. Do not despise the years of testing. They are not wasted time, but the gymnasium of faith. They are not delay, but preparation. You may feel held back, but in truth, I am building within you things that cannot be built in comfort. You are being trained not merely to survive, but to conquer, not merely to endure, but to affect others. I declare to you that a new season is coming, in which your steadfastness will be displayed before many. I will position you to influence, to lead, to be a light for a generation. But it all begins with your standing firm in today's trial. Do not look down on this stage, for it is the bridge to your destiny. If you are faithful now, I will trust you with greater things. Do not let circumstances unsettle you. Do not let lies cause you to doubt. Do not let delay cause you to despair. Look to me, the one who began and will finish your faith. Remember my promise, the righteous shall live by faith. That faith, once refined, will become an immovable foundation. I am seeking such people, those who do not only burn brightly for a moment, but burn long, who do not only believe on sunny days, but still believe on rainy ones, who do not only worship in convenience, but still worship in adversity. Are you willing to become such a one? Are you willing to stand like a pillar in my house, like a lamp on the hill, like a city that cannot be hidden. If you say, yes, I will give you strength, grant you grace, and pour out my Spirit so you may become an unshakable witness. My beloved child, I have not left you simply to stand still. For growing faith is not meant merely to be kept for yourself, but to make you an instrument for me to carry light to many others. This is why I have saved you, trained you, and placed a new name upon you, that you might be sent. O child, you are not called merely to exist, but to influence, not merely to preserve yourself, but to sow seeds, not merely to receive blessing, but to become a blessing to others. Beloved, being sent is not an empty honor, but a holy responsibility. I do not choose you only because of your ability, but because you have proven faithful in small things. As I said, whoever is faithful in little is faithful also in much. Luke 1:6-10. For this reason I allowed you to pass through seasons of drought, trials, and silence, to test and prove your faithfulness. And now, having been formed, I am opening a door of sending for you. But you must understand that this sending is not only travel to some place, it is becoming a way of life, a living testimony to my power and my love. Remember my disciples. Before they were sent, they stayed with me. They witnessed miracles, heard my teaching, saw me pray. Then when the time came, I said, go into all the world and preach the gospel to every creature. Mark 1:6-15. Sending is always the next step after training. Likewise, I have trained you, purified you, renewed your mind, and established your identity. And now I call you to step out, not in fear, but in courage, not by your own strength, but by my Spirit. Child, being sent always carries responsibility. You cannot keep the truth to yourself while the world wastes away in darkness. You cannot seek personal peace while many are desperate for a glimmer of hope. You cannot live enclosed within safety while I call you to be a lighthouse. You were not saved merely to escape chains, but to become a liberator for those still bound. Know that the sending does not always wear the grand shape the world expects. Sometimes it is merely a small act, an encouraging word, a gesture of love, a silent prayer. Yet in my hands, small things can shake a generation. Like the boy with 5 loaves and 2 fish, that small offering placed in my hands fed a multitude. So too, when you offer your faithfulness, even if it seems small, I can turn it into a miracle. Do not think that being sent is only for those with high office, those who stand on pulpits, or those with wide influence. I say to you all, my children are sent. Wherever I place you, family, workplace, community, is a mission field. You do not have to go far to do my work. Right where you stand, you are a witness. You are light. You are salt of the earth. Sending also calls you out of your comfort zone. You are accustomed to assurances, predictability, and control, but being sent requires trusting what you cannot see and stepping forward without a clear map. As Abraham went out not knowing where he would go, so you must walk by faith, trusting that I lead. Yet remember, I never send without accompanying. When I call, I also provide. When I send, I go with you. When I make a way, no one can close it. Do not forget that sending is paired with sacrifice. It may require you to give up comforts, conveniences, and what others call normal. But child, remember that no sacrifice in me is wasted. Every tear, every weary step, every prayer in solitude, I record them all. And the reward I prepare far surpasses what the world can give. As Paul said, for our light and momentary troubles are achieving for us an eternal glory that far outweighs them all. 2 Corinthians 4:17. Beloved, sending also means trust. I am entrusting you to carry my message. I trust you to be my hands, my feet, and my voice in the world, and I do not make mistakes in my choosing. You may feel small, insufficient, weak, and that is precisely why I chose you, for my power is perfected in weakness. When people see you weak yet standing firm, they will know it is me. When they see your limitations yet observe your influence, they will know it is my work. When they see you as a clay jar containing life, they will recognize my power, see being sent, not as a burden, but as a privilege. To cooperate with me in the work of the kingdom is the highest honor. To bring my light into dark places is the greatest reward. To become my voice in a generation that is lost is the most sacred responsibility. Rejoice, for you do not live only for yourself, but leave an eternal legacy. This is the time for you to step out. Do not hesitate. Do not wait until you think you are enough. Remember, you will never feel enough by human standards. But I am the one who is enough, and I live in you. Simply say, "Yes, Lord," and I will do the rest. You will see doors open, connections formed, miracles occur, not for your glory, but that my name may be exalted. Child, walk in this sending with courage. Know that I have prepared you, trained you, purified you, renewed you, and established your identity. Now I send you to be a witness, to be a voice, to be an instrument of my love and power. Do not be afraid, for I am with you until the end of the age. My beloved child, I want you to know an important truth. Calling and commission are never separated from the testing of faithfulness. Before I entrust you with great responsibility, I always test you in small things. For what I care about is not merely ability, but the heart. I do not first seek skillful hands. I seek obedient hearts, and faithfulness is the measure of that heart. Look back at the life of David. Before he became king over Israel, he was only a shepherd boy in the fields. His work was unseen, unpraised, and unhonored. Yet it was there in that wilderness that he learned to fight lions and bears, to protect the flock. It was there in obscurity that he practiced song worship and conversation with me. So when the moment came to face Goliath, he did not tremble, because faithfulness in the small had prepared him for a great battle. I am doing the same with you. The small deeds you perform today, silent prayers, acts of love, no one notices, patient diligence in simple tasks. These are the tests of faithfulness. People may not see them, but I see. People may not acknowledge them, but heaven remembers. And those small, humble acts will open doors far greater than you expect. True glory does not come from seeking great opportunities, but from being faithful in small ones. Whoever is faithful in little, I can entrust with much. Whoever is unfaithful in little, I cannot entrust with great things. This is an unchanging principle of the kingdom. Remember that no one is given great authority at the start. Everything begins with quiet faithfulness. Faithfulness is not measured by when everyone is watching, but by when no one is watching. When there are no stage lights, no applause, no praise, do you remain faithful? Do you continue to pray, though no one knows? Do you continue to live uprightly, though no one witnesses? Do you continue to forgive, though no one recognizes it? It is in that hidden place that your faithfulness is most clearly revealed. There will be times when you feel discouraged because no one sees your sacrifice. You may ask, "Lord, why do I do all these things?" No one knows, no one recognizes. But I speak to you, your Father sees in secret, and he will reward you openly. No tear falls that I do not remember. No whispered prayer goes unheard by me. No small act of love escapes my sight. In due season I will publicly reward you. Remember that faithfulness in anonymity is the greatest test. If you are only faithful when observed, that is not faithfulness, but the pursuit of recognition. But if you remain faithful when only I behold you, that is the proof that you live to please me. And that is what causes me to entrust you with greater responsibilities. Recall Joseph. He was faithful even in prison. When treated unjustly, he did not become bitter. When forgotten, he did not rebel. He continued to do his work with integrity, until even the prison keeper trusted him. That faithfulness paved the way for his release and his elevation to the position of Prime Minister of the land. Had he been unfaithful in prison, he would never have sat on the throne. Likewise, if you are faithful in your prisons, those hidden places and small tasks, I will lift you up at the appointed time. My child, faithfulness is not merely doing well, but doing fully. Faithfulness is not only acting when circumstances are easy, but acting even when they are hard. Faithfulness is not only beginning strong, but persevering to the end. I do not look for those who are fervent for a moment, but for those steadfast until the finish. Faithfulness is continuing to walk when you are weary. Faithfulness is continuing to trust when you have not yet seen the outcome. Faithfulness is continuing to serve, though no one acknowledges you. Faithfulness is also evidence that you trust me more than yourself. For when you are faithful in small things, you are saying, Lord, I believe. You see, you know, and you will reward. When you are faithful in anonymity, you are saying, Lord, I serve you, not men. That posture makes heaven stir. That faithfulness makes me smile and say, well done, faithful and honest servant. You were faithful with little, I will set you over much. Enter into the joy of your master. People may remember you for talent, success, or achievement, but heaven will remember you for your faithfulness, and that legacy will not fade. It will endure forever. It will be passed on to the next generation. You will not live only for yourself, but will lay a firm foundation for many others. Rejoice, even while you dwell in small places, for there I am testing and refining you. Do not despise small things, for they are the stepping stones into greater things. Do not grow weary in anonymity, for there I watch the condition of your heart. Do not compare your journey with another's, for I have a unique plan for each person. Be faithful, and I will do the rest. So walk each day with a heart of faithfulness. Let faithfulness become your breath, your heartbeat, your reason for being. And when you live this way, I promise that great doors will open that no one can close. You will enter a harvest season not because of your brilliance, but because of your faithfulness. And that faithfulness will become the key that unlocks destiny, blessing, and an everlasting inheritance. My child mission is not only concerned with the present, it reaches into eternity. When I call you to step out faithful and obedient, you do more than affect your own life. You sow seeds for generations yet unborn. You may think that your prayers, your forgiveness, your love, and your service today have only limited effect, but in the eternal realm they echo on. Every faithful act carried out in obedience becomes a seed, and that seed will bear harvests you may never fully see in your lifetime. Remember Abraham. When he obeyed me and left his homeland, he did not see the full unfolding of the promise. He saw only a portion and walked by faith. Yet through that obedience, a nation was born, and from that lineage the Savior came. So it is with you. When you obey in mission, you may not see the complete outcome now, but heaven takes note, and many generations will be blessed by your faithfulness. Think of the quiet prayers you have offered. You may suppose they vanish into nothingness, but they are kept in golden bowls before my throne. One day they will cascade like a waterfall of blessing upon your children, upon your community, upon souls you have never met. Every faithful prayer is a brick in the sacred legacy you are building. Mission is also the privilege I give you to build a firm foundation. People rush to build reputation, career, and wealth, things that pass and can be lost. But you are invited to build upon the rock. When you build on rock, that work stands forever. It will not be destroyed by time, erased by history, or crushed by trial. You may leave this world, but your legacy will endure. Do not measure legacy by what you leave in people's hands, but by what you sow into their hearts. An encouraging word you speak can ignite faith in a desperate soul. A kind deed you perform can become the turning point that changes a life. A faithful example you live can become a lamp that illumines the next generation. This is the power of mission. It multiplies beyond your sight, spreading like rings across water to distant shores. I know you sometimes doubt the value of faithfulness. You ask, do these small things matter? I remind you, I used a rod in Moses' hand to part the Red Sea. I used a stone in David's hand to fell Goliath. I used 5 loaves and 2 fish in a boy's hands to feed a multitude. Beloved, I can use your small acts of obedience to do extraordinary things. Do not forget, mission is never a solitary journey. You go, but I go with you. You act, but the Spirit acts through you. You sow, but I give the growth. That is what ensures your work in me is never in vain. You may not see it immediately, but in the unseen realm, the seed is sprouting. One day you will be amazed to see harvests born from the faithful seeds you planted. See mission as an invitation to leave an eternal mark. People fear their lives will pass into meaninglessness, that they will be forgotten. But if you live in mission, your life will never be meaningless because you cooperate with me in an eternal plan. Whatever you do in me will endure. As the scriptures say, therefore, my beloved brothers, be steadfast, immovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord, knowing that your toil in the Lord is not in vain. 1 Corinthians 1:5, 5:8. I want you to picture this one day. When you enter the eternal realm, there will be people who run to embrace you and say, because of you I came to know the Lord. Because of you I did not give up. By your faithfulness my generation was changed. You may never have met them on earth, yet your work in mission touched them. That is the greatest reward, to know that your life became a conduit of blessing for many. Each day you walk in mission, you write a new chapter in your legacy. Remember, you do not live for the fleeting present, but for eternal life. Do not let temporary worries steal that vision. Do not let passing temptations make you forget the true goal. Be steadfast, be faithful, keep going. For one day you will hear my word, well done, good and faithful servant. Enter into the joy of your Lord. Receive this mission not merely as a task, but as a heritage. Live to sow, to give, to build, to leave behind. Live not only for yourself, but for generations, for the community, for the eternal kingdom. When you live this way, I promise nothing in your life will be meaningless. All will be woven into a glorious tapestry reflecting my glory. My beloved, after all you have endured separation, purification, renewal, discipline, mission, I want you to understand this. The ultimate aim is not merely achievements, not merely great works, not merely the legacy you leave. The ultimate aim is union between you and me. For if you have all those things but lack my presence, you will be empty. But if you have me, even without seeing all the results, you have true fullness. From the beginning, my intention has been to walk with you. Just as I walked with Adam in the cool of Eden, I desire to walk with you each day. This union is not a fleeting moment, but a lasting relationship. I do not want you to seek me only in emergencies or crises. I want you to know that I am there in every breath, every step, every small decision. I am not a distant God. I am a near Father. You once thought spiritual strength came from doing much, proving worth by action. But I tell you, true strength comes from remaining in me. Jesus taught, abide in me, and I in you. As the branch cannot bear fruit by itself unless it abides in the vine, neither can you unless you abide in me. John 1:5-4. You may act tirelessly, but if you do not abide in me, you will be exhausted. You may accomplish much, but if you do not abide in me, you will feel empty. Yet when you abide in me, and I abide in you, fruit will naturally appear, not by your strength, but by the life that flows from me. This union is not a burdensome duty, but a privilege. I do not require perfection to come near me. I ask only that you come with a sincere heart. I know moments of weakness, times of weariness, times when you do not know how to pray. The Spirit helps you. and intercedes for you with groanings that cannot be expressed in words. Even when you have no strength to pray, I am near and hear the sighs of your heart as prayer. Growing deeper in union with me requires learning to be still. The world is noisy. Your mind is besieged by 1,000 voices, but my voice often comes as a gentle whisper. If you are not quiet, you will miss it. I do not compete for your attention. I wait. I knock, but you must open. I call, but you must respond. When you choose to remain in stillness to listen, you will find me nearer than you ever thought. There are times you expect union with me, only in large gatherings, in fervent prayer meetings, in extraordinary moments. But I tell you, true union is built in ordinary moments. When you whisper thanks in the morning, when you choose forgiveness rather than resentment, when you pause to listen to me amid busy tasks, when you read a verse and meditate upon it throughout the day, these are the bricks that build lasting intimacy. I do not only call you to work for me, I call you to be with me. Many have fallen because they were so busy doing for God that they forgot the relationship with God. I do not want you to become a weary servant. I want you to be a joyful child. I do not want you to chase goals alone. I want you to enjoy the companionship. Ultimately, what I seek is not accomplishment, but love. Let this union be your true strength. When you are in me, you will find peace in the storm. When you are in me, you will possess wisdom amid chaos. When you are in me, you will be covered by love even when rejected by the world. This union is where you find your true home, where you need not prove yourself, carry burdens, or pretend. You may simply be yourself, and I will be your Father. Do not regard union with me as an extra reward beside your mission. Regard it as the foundation of everything. Without union, mission becomes a burden. Without union, trials will break you. Without union, successes will make you proud. But when you abide in union, all things fall into their proper place. Mission becomes joy. Trials become opportunity. Success becomes testimony to my glory. My child, I call you back to the source, not to work, not to results, but to me. For from me everything flows. Life, wisdom, peace, promotion all originate from union with me. Do not seek results before seeking relationship. Do not pursue blessing before coming to the one who blesses. When you seek me first, all other things will be added to you. This is my invitation. Step into a deeper union with me. Spend time with me, not to do but simply to be. Let your heart rest in my love. Let my presence become your daily breath. From that union a new power will flow. You will walk in freedom, in peace, in advancement that nothing can shake. My beloved child, union with me is not merely a place for you to rest. It is the place from which you are empowered to move. For when you are joined to me, every work you do carries the imprint of heaven. You no longer labor by your own strength, but by supernatural strength. You no longer act by limited human wisdom, but by my boundless wisdom. This is the secret of a life that bears lasting fruit. It is not you who works for me, but me who works through you. Child, there is a vast difference between working for the Lord and cooperating with the Lord. When you work for me without union, you will soon grow weary, discouraged, even bitter. The burden will seem too heavy, the responsibility unbearable. But when you serve in unity, you will find rest, for you are yoked with me. Remember my words. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light. Matthew 1:1-2-9-30. O child, a yoke becomes easy when it is shared. You are no longer pulling alone, I pull with you. When you are united with me, you will walk under clear guidance. The world is full of traps and the road ahead forks in many places, but you need not grope in the dark. The Holy Spirit will guide you step by step. He will whisper in your heart, "This is the way, walk in it." Isaiah 3:0-1. Even if you do not have the whole map, He will show you the next step. And as you take each obedient step, you will discover you are on the right path, for my hand is leading you. Know this: union with me is a safeguard against pride. When your work bears fruit, when people praise you, and your reputation spreads, it is easy to conclude it is your doing. But when you abide in me, you will remember that every result comes from the life flowing from the true vine. A branch cannot bear fruit by itself. It bears fruit because it is attached to the vine. Likewise, you will remember that it is not you but I who work through you, and that humility will keep you from falling. I do not want you merely to do much, but to do rightly. The world applauds busyness, but heaven applauds obedience. There are things you can do that are not what I have called you to do. When you abide in unity, you will discern which works come from me and which are mere distractions. And when you do only what I call you to do, you will see deep, lasting results that far exceed any effort made in your own strength. Look back at the times you tried to rely on yourself. You were exhausted, confused, and disappointed. But when you let me lead, things fall into place in a marvelous way. Doors open that you could not open by yourself. Relationships are arranged that you could not have formed. Opportunities arrive at the right moment, though you could not have orchestrated them. This is the sign of unity, when you stop striving and let me act. Beloved, union with me also ensures that your work has eternal value. Some things look successful in the eyes of the world, but will vanish like dust before my throne. Conversely, small acts of prayer, a tear, a quiet sacrifice are engraved for eternity because they are done in union. I do not measure your work by scale, but by how much you are in me as you do it. When you abide in me, you will walk in a supernatural flow. My presence will go before you, softening the hearts of those who oppose. My wisdom will be on your lips, so that you speak words that transform. My peace will envelop you and make you stand firm amid chaos. My joy will flow through you, sustaining you even in suffering. This is not your strength, but my strength in you. Unity also helps you stand against the enemy's attacks. When you step into your calling, the enemy will try to discourage you, to fatigue you, to compromise you. But if you abide in me, he cannot touch the root of your life. He may blow winds, but your tree will not be uprooted. He may shoot arrows, but you have the shield of faith. He may whisper lies, but my voice will resound more loudly in your heart. Remember that union with me is not an optional extra, but essential. Without union, you will be depleted. Without union, you will be led astray. Without union, you will easily fall into temptation. But when you abide in me, you will be strong, clear-minded, and steadfast. When you abide in me, you will become a source of life to others, because my life flows through you. When you abide in me, you will not merely exist, but will prosper in every season. Enter into this unity every day. Do not treat it as a scheduled meeting, but as a way of living. Let me be your breath, your heartbeat, your inspiration. Allow me to shape your thoughts, guide your decisions, and infuse your words, and you will see that every deed you do, every word you speak, every step you take will bring results far beyond what your eyes can see. Child, this is my promise. If you abide in me, and my word abides in you, whatever you desire will be given to you, not because I am a servant who fulfills every wish, but because when you are united with me, your desires harmonize with mine. When you pray, you will be speaking in one accord with heaven. Then blessings will pour forth, miracles will occur, and your life will become a living testimony to the power of unity. My beloved child, after all that I have spoken, I want you to lift your eyes even farther, beyond the short days of this earth, beyond the ups and downs, the trials, the successes, and the failures. I want you to see the eternal perspective. The communion I have prepared is not only for the present, but for all ages. For the ultimate purpose of every season of training, every sending, every act of faithfulness is not merely that you complete a few years on this earth, but that you step into endless glory where you will be with me forever. Remember that I made you for eternal fellowship. Earthly life is only a brief beginning, a season of preparation, but the life to come is your true home. When you are faithful, obedient, and walk in unity today, you are writing a story that will continue to echo into eternity. What you do in me never disappears. It is preserved, rewarded, and becomes part of the eternal glory I have prepared for you. I know there are times when you feel your faithfulness is small, even meaningless, but I want you to see with eternal eyes. When you choose forgiveness instead of resentment, heaven takes note. When you choose secret prayer, heaven records it. When you are faithful in little things, heaven marks it. And all these, however small they may seem, are being woven into a glorious crown you will wear on the day we meet face to face. Imagine that day when you enter my presence in glory. No more tears, no more pain, no more testing. Only complete joy, unending peace, and endless love. You will hear me say, "Well done, faithful and true servant. Come and share the joy of my Son." And you will see that every obedience, every sacrifice, every act of faithfulness was worth it. You will not regret for a single moment that you chose me. That is why I call you to choose me not only once but every day. Unity with me is not a one-time decision in the past, but a present way of life. Each morning, when you awake, I am there waiting for you to open your heart. Each evening, when you are weary, I am there waiting for you to find rest in my arms. In every small moment you can choose. Choose to listen to me rather than be swept away by noise. Choose to remain in my presence rather than be consumed by anxiety, and these daily small choices are shaping your eternal fellowship. I am not calling you to instant perfection but to lasting attachment. You may stumble but rise and return. You may fail but come back into my embrace. You may face dry seasons yet keep seeking me. What matters is not that you never fall, but that you never cease returning. For I do not change, my love does not change, and I am always waiting for you. Let me remind you that the work I began in you I will complete. I do not abandon halfway. I do not make empty promises. I am the faithful one. Even while you are still on the way, be assured that I will bring you to the goal. No power can stop it. No enemy can destroy it. No circumstance can hinder it. What I have ordained for you will come to pass, provided you continue to remain in unity with me. I do not measure your worth by outward achievements, but by the depth of your attachment to me. People may praise accomplishment, status, influence, but I look at the heart. I do not ask, "How much have you done?" I ask, "Are you with me?" For unity is the ultimate aim. If you have everything but lack me, you have nothing. But if you have me, you have everything. As you walk in this unity, you will see your life transformed from the inside out. You will worry less because you know I care. You will fear less because you know I hold the future. You will no longer chase recognition because you know you are loved unconditionally. This unity will bring you a freedom the world cannot give and cannot take away. I know this journey is not always easy. There will be days of dryness and seasons of feeling distant. Do not trust your feelings. Trust the truth. I am nearer than your next breath. Even when you do not feel it, I am at work. Even when you do not hear, I am speaking. Even when you do not see results, I am sowing seeds. And one day you will look back and realize I never left you. My beloved, this is my final call to you in this journey. Choose me every day, every hour, every moment. Let me become the center, the breath, the heartbeat of your life. Let this unity be not a concept, but a living reality. And as you do so, you will be transformed from glory to glory until the day you are completely like me. Enter the new season with confidence you are not alone. You do not carry the burden by yourself. You have me, the one who called you, saved you, purified you, renewed you, trained you, sent you, and now unites with you. I am the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. And I will walk with you until every promise is fulfilled. Be courageous to walk in love, in faith, in unity. For what I have prepared for you is far greater than what eyes have seen, ears have heard, or the human heart has imagined. One day you will stand before me with no distance, no veil, only perfect love. On that day you will know that every obedience, every faithfulness, every unity was worth it. Until that day, child, remain in me, and I will remain in you, shelter you, guide you, and lead you to the throne of glory. Amen. Thank you for listening to today's message. Please press subscribe and turn on notifications, so together we may receive living words, build steadfast faith, and walk in the boundless love of the Lord. Amen.